setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Major turnaround on the cards in Maharashtra. A family reunion by the end of the month. Tonight, the big political scoop on This is Exclusive. Hello and welcome. You watching the Monday edition of This is Exclusive with me, Shavan Sen. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I come to you with two big stories. The biggest political scoop from the state of Maharashtra. What's really happening with the Pawar family? Tonight on This is Exclusive, we'll tell you what's really happening within the Pawar family and what are the repercussions of it. And the other big story coming in from Canada, why it's time to say goodbye to Justin Trudeau. All this and much more on this edition of This is Exclusive. But first, let's take you through the headlines we are tracking at this hour. Speculation brews in Maharashtra politics. Sources say Sharad Pawar may be eyeing a return to Mahayuti. Facing massive internal dissent and low approval rating, clock ticks for Justin Trudeau. Prime Minister may resign soon. Srinagar parliamentarian joins in on protest against the Omar government. Omar says he better fight for Jammu and Kashmir statehood too. 4 cases of HMPV reported in India from Bengaluru, Ahmedabad and Kolkata. No international travel history. Balochistan group claims attack on Pakistan army in Turbat, releases videos. Is there a major turnaround on the cards in Maharashtra? A frosty relations likely to see a thaw in the coming few days. Tonight, we start with that big political scoop coming in from Maharashtra. 84-year-old Sharad Pawar, the stalwart in Maharashtra politics, perhaps faces the biggest challenge of his political career. In fact, after the massive drubbing that his party faced in the recently concluded state assembly elections, it turns out that this is becoming the biggest survival battle for Sharad Pawar. Will it now be Sharad Pawar bearing the hatchet and joining hands with his nephew, Ajit Pawar? In fact, what we are going to tell you is how it all started. And all of this is now being worked towards perhaps a reunion by the end of the month. That's how quick it could actually be. But now we're going to tell you how the stage has been set, how it all started, who was the first person to make that move, and how exactly are things really happening. On your screens right now, we'll tell you all the key characters who have essentially played a role, starting with Ajit Pawar's mother. On your screens right now, where she said, "Pray that all grievances within the family end." This was the first big statement made by anyone within the Pawar family after the elections. And then you have right now the right-hand man of Ajit Pawar and also an ally of Sharad Pawar for the longest time, Praful Patel, ended up saying that Sharad Pawar is our deity. Let's move on to the other who have essentially made these comments. Jitendra Awad is the other person who's been with Sharad Pawar for a very long time. He says it is the Pawar family matter. A cryptic response really coming in. But now we're going to tell you how things are essentially brewing, how this entire timeline of why Sharad Pawar essentially sees is back to the wall right now. And there is a strong buzz that Sharad Pawar, along with 8 parliamentarians, 14 legislators, could actually switch camp and join Ajit Pawar. So what's really stopping them? Is it because whether at all Sharad Pawar will be able to rehabilitate his daughter, Supriya Sule? But this is what the BJP had to say. BJP legislator and the state president, Chandrasekhar Bawankule, says there is absolutely no objection to Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar's reunion. That is what Chandrasekhar Bawankule had to say, who's again, remember, the right-hand man of Devendra Fadnavis, the Maharashtra chief minister, who's made this comment just about a few days ago. Now let's go to take you through the breaking news coming in. In fact, a close aide of Ajit Pawar, who spoke to Republic TV a short while back, clearly indicated that there is absolutely nothing wrong if Sharad Pawar decides to join the faction. But it seems that the work is already done. First, listen in to what Tatkade had to say a short while back, indicating when this reunion could actually take place.
In July 2024, when Ajit Dada decided to join hands with BJP and be part of NDA, it was clearly decided that we want to go with NDA for development of Maharashtra. We have joined hands with NDA, and recent results have shown that that was the correct decision. As far as there are reports that Pawar Sahab will join hands with NCP Ajit Dada, if he agrees to join hands with Ajit Dada and he agrees to the decision that the decision of we joining NDA was correct, then we will take a call on that. As far as Praful Bhai's statement is concerned, it is an emotional statement. Praful Bhai has worked very closely with Pawar Sahab for past 30-40 years, and it is but natural that he has certain opinions about Pawar Sahab, and we all have Pawar Sahab at a very high esteem. And as far as family is concerned, I guess there are multiple statements from Pawar family that they think that all families should come together. We welcome that statement. It's a family which they want to unite, and if they say something like that, it is their opinion, and if it happens, we welcome that.
Well, the big breaking news now coming in. This reversal could actually take place within a month's time. What is stopping? One, with regards to what would be the role of Supriya Sule. For a very long time, you've had Sharad Pawar's faction essentially indicating that Sharad Pawar wants Supriya Sule to basically have a position at the center. That's one key demand that has been made. In fact, you've had Praful Patel, who is with Ajit Pawar, a few months ago saying that he was almost 50% on board coming onto with Ajit Pawar, but that did not happen. But that was mainly because as to who exactly will hold the leadership of the party in the state. It turns out that matter is settled. Ajit Pawar, after the victory that he witnessed in the recently concluded elections, is now the undisputable leader of the NCP, something that perhaps even Sharad Pawar has accepted. Now, as far as Supriya Sule is concerned, it turns out that there is a possibility that she could actually be shifted to the center. There is a strong buzz that Sharad Pawar, along with 8 parliamentarians and 14 legislators, could switch sides. Now, that's the strong buzz really coming in. And none other than you have Ajit Pawar's mother making that first indication. It turns out that there have been certain meetings that have taken place in Maharashtra as well as in the national capital with regards to how exactly would that work out. There are political statements that have been made by the Mahavikas Aghadi with regards to these meetings that have actually taken place, indicating that Sharad Pawar is very much with Mahavikas Aghadi. But remember, the entire power play that we are calling it, Pawar's play that has happened many a times in the past. Many say that till date, that when Ajit Pawar was sworn in as the Deputy Chief Minister, along with Devendra Fadnavis as the Chief Minister, many say that Sharad Pawar was actually well aware of what was really happening. Niranjan is joining us on this broadcast. The biggest political scoop really coming in from the state of Maharashtra. It stems, Niranjan, perhaps with that first comment that was made by Ajit Pawar's mother. And now we're being told that there were meetings that took place in Mumbai as well as in the national capital, and some developments taking place in Goa with another political party.
Shravan, from what we're picking up, first of all, it's been a developing story. I mean, you had the timeline of, ever since the results came out. I think it was a matter of time on whether, it was when Sharad Pawar would be joining Ajit Pawar, because look at the messaging that's gone on, that's taken place in the last few days. You've had open backing of Devendra Fadnavis, perhaps an indicator from the Sharad Pawar faction that they are open to joining the NDA with the BJP as the lead party, both in Maharashtra and at the centre. You've had Supriya Sule openly backing Fadnavis. Of course, a lot of people raise questions on that. Strangely, you had the Uddhav Sena mouthpiece, Samna, also praising Fadnavis for his anti-Maoist operations and the visits to Gadchiroli, etc., those regions. And it was on the same subject that Supriya Sule also spoke on record backing Devendra Fadnavis. We are hearing, Shravan, and I think you've picked up the details, that 8 of his MPs could be joining the NDA, which would strengthen the position of the NDA both in the Lok Sabha and in the Rajya Sabha. Now, apart from that, we hear that the only sticking point right now is a negotiation that is on between Sharad Pawar's party and the centre on the role that Supriya Sule, who is the daughter of Sharad Pawar, the role that she will now play at the centre is the only point that's pending, which is why it's not formal. But going by the indications, it could be this month that Sharad Pawar officially joins NDA. Now, this is what we are hearing from sources. And one more thing, Shravan. You spoke about another party having meetings in Goa. I think you can mention that party. Eknath Shinde has not been completely happy hearing that Eknath Shinde met leaders of the Uddhav Sena faction in Goa. So if Eknath Shinde met Uddhav Sena in Goa, what's cooking? I think we will wait for a few more days. Republic is on top of that story. I have to hide on that story, and we should be able to get you more details. Perhaps in the next few hours, Shravan. Back to you for now.
Well, thank you very much, Niranjan, for getting us that big political scoop. It turns out that the reunion perhaps could take place by the end of the month, if at all some assurance really comes in from the NDA with regards to the rehabilitation of Supriya Sule. Moving on, the other story that we're getting to tonight, what really happens to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau? He's grappling with a political crisis that may ultimately lead to his resignation. Trudeau could actually resign as soon as this week. He's completely isolated within his own Liberal Party. Trudeau has been accused of making absurd allegations against India to divert attention. In fact, his only position that he has taken over the last few months is about alleged foreign interference in the elections that have taken place in the past in Canada. It turns out that he has witnessed some extremely embarrassing moments in the last few months. In fact, on 16th of December, his Deputy Prime Minister and also the Finance Minister of Canada resigned. This was on a day when the Finance Minister was supposed to tell their legislature with regards to the economic stimulus and economic status of Canada. But the resignation came in at the last time. It turns out that ahead of a big national caucus that is lined up, Justin Trudeau does not find really any support, particularly worried about 3 major caucuses. One, the Atlantic, Quebec being the other caucus, and that's where the fear really stems for Justin Trudeau. Many would say that this was actually coming in. Reason being, one, the appeasement politics of Justin Trudeau. Remember, his own ally has actually ditched him. First, take a look at this report, and then we have a big exclusive coming up.
temples vandalized by Khalistani extremists. Nihang Sikhs seen openly carrying swords. A plummeting approval rate. And an unmanageable economic crisis. The clock is ticking for Justin Trudeau while he battles a double-edged sword. He faces growing dissent from the Conservatives.
9 years of this NDP Liberal Prime Minister's taxes, debt, inflation, and promises. Canadians are hungry. Literally, according to the Food Bank's Canada report, 50% of Canadians say they're worse off than a year ago. 25% are in food insecurity, and a quarter of young adults went to a food bank in 3 months alone this year.
While former ally NDP calls for Trudeau's resignation.
Instead of focusing on these issues, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are focused on themselves. They're fighting themselves instead of fighting for Canadians. For that reason, today I'm calling on Justin Trudeau to resign. He has to go.
Trudeau has run out of options to fall back on. By leaning towards an anti-India narrative, Trudeau may be staring at his last few days in office.
Over the past number of weeks, Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
Amid growing concern over the rise of Khalistani extremism in Canada, is this the end of Justin Trudeau's 9-year tenure?
Well, in fact, joining us on this broadcast is Rakesh Tiwari, journalist from Canada. Mr. Tiwari, what's really happening within the Liberal Party right now? It seems that no one is willing to even become the interim leader. That's the reason why perhaps this decision of Justin Trudeau to resign is getting delayed.
Let me say this very clearly, that what is happening now, it has been going on since Chrystia Freeland, who was the Deputy Prime Minister, as well as the Finance Minister, when she resigned, when the time for the economic package, a stimulus package she's supposed to deliver on the same day. And she has given the reason for the differences and the Justin Trudeau not having trust in her. So since that time, this was brewing for long, for that. And I will mention one more thing very clearly, that this is not that nobody from the Liberal Party is going to take, are willing to take charge. Of course, there are many faces, but same Chrystia Freeland, she's leading ahead in this when Justin Trudeau will go out of, or when he's going to resign.
Tiwari, just one quick question before I let you go. We're given to understand that the National Caucus is expected to take place on Wednesday. Are we to expect that perhaps Justin Trudeau actually resigns before that?
Yes, it is expected. Today is Monday, and as Justin Trudeau has said, that he's going to reflect, or he's going to take this time, the holidays time.
We seem to be having a problem with the audio line, but let me just tell you why exactly Justin Trudeau completely finds himself isolated. You've already had President-elect Donald Trump making the statement about 25% tariff that is going to be placed in, and calling him, Justin Trudeau, as the governor of Canada. Now, that was the latest insult perhaps Justin Trudeau faced in the last few days. In fact, he had to fly down to US in Florida for a meeting with the president-elect. And look at what's happening here on your screens right now, with Prime Minister Modi ignoring Justin Trudeau. This all began with perhaps the bizarre allegations that were leveled by Justin Trudeau, perhaps to only save his image. But that hasn't really gone down well. Second, you have women hurling abuse at Trudeau. This is a clear reflection of the fact that in several of the areas, particularly this video actually comes in from an area which actually sends in several parliamentarians for the Liberal Party. But this is the situation that Justin Trudeau faces in the very place. Let's now take you through the other big issue, the political issue that erupted in Brampton. This was after temples were being attacked and the fact that Khalistanis were given a complete freedom. You've had his ally Jagmeet, who's also known as a Khalistani sympathizer, clearly taking away the support and leaving the Liberal Party in a complete lurch. But this incident, remember, ensured that the relation between India and Canada is sealed forever. Now you have, this is the situation in Canada. One, with rising prices, and secondly, with the several services completely collapsing on the streets of Canada, is a clear reflection of which way Canada is essentially headed towards, particularly given the fact that today you have the highest inflation rates in Canada. Let's now tell you how the Khalistanis were actually given a complete free run, and this was Nihang Sikhs carrying swords on the streets of Ontario. This was something that once again raised the eyebrows about how exactly has Justin Trudeau been dealing with the situation. And finally, the workers, the truckers' strike, that was the nail on the coffin for Justin Trudeau. And this is, remember, once again, a testament of what was happening back in 2022, how things went downhill from thereafter. Well, in fact, this causes a major trouble for Omar Abdullah. Srinagar parliamentarian is now calling for an open rebellion. We get you that story after this short break.